Okay. So first, my pranam to my mentor Dopamine Loktida, and then my humble gratitude to Principal Ma'am Namita Kalita ji and all the dignitaries. Sharing some views between my madam and Loktida, this is always difficult, so I am not going to share any very deep philosophical issue. Rather, since in the ensuing 2 more days, we will be glued with many philosophical issues. So we will just in an entertaining mood, we will try to figure out. We usually have our idea how actually AI is, what actually AI is doing. How does it differ to us in doing those works? And if at all we can take the term epistemology, in that case, how these two are different. And in spite of, I mean, like all of us know that AI is a very serious issue and it is something very catchy and something everyone uses. At the same time, why the risk element and why certain problematic issues are discussed within this domain? So, let us start our discussion very briefly. Procedural. First thing I need to, I'm bound to give this disclaimer because I'm in contract, I'm using certain digital materials from Red Chillies Entertainment, and a part of my program, my project with Google, which incidentally was rejected by my own university, but ultimately that was taken up by Google. So this is something as part, however it is not the proper academic way, but this is, I am bound to show. My acknowledgement to Red Chillies Entertainment. And I have used many of their data, their digital properties and the properties from Google. So first thing is, as ma'am has been saying, what is the basic AI architecture? We have 3 things in a machine, like any machine that is a calculator, or for that matter a mobile, a tab or anything. What actually we can touch, we can configure, we can broken into parts. These are called hardwares, and there are different levels of softwares. These softwares are basically encoded properties, and these are basically things which human beings, only those things that human beings have any kind of knowledge by acquaintance or knowledge by description, that was translated into a code, and that code again transcribed into a binary mathematical code, and then I'll show you the process that basically performs. So apart from these things, the outer box and chips and etc., let the other things, what we talk about, Apple software, Android software, iOS, Android, this OS means operating system, or any of the apps, that means applications we use, WhatsApp, Facebook, anything we use. These all are basically softwares of different kinds, and are in different ways, they all are in a way artificially intelligent device. Now, there is a journey, as madam has been saying. We have started our journey of making a machine that can assist a human the way a human can do. That is our aspiration of making a machine human-like. From almost choice of this room, it turned out to be now, which is the assumption, the quantum computer. May I humbly request someone to please. Actually, I made an accident few years ago, and for that I have a trauma always when I find something beside my leg. And the people, the galaxy of people who then young scholar ma'am has been talking about, where those people, John McCarthy, Minsky, later all of them became a legend. And that famous conference is called the Dartmouth Conference, from where the exact idea was shaped up. And it has a journey, but then again, without taking much time, I am showing you a Google video.
दोस्तों 1940s का वो टाइम याद कीजिए जब ह्यूमंस ने पहला मॉडर्न कंप्यूटर बनाया।
That was this one.
पूरे रूम के साइज के बराबर का हुआ करता। एक ऐसी मशीन जो सिर्फ बेसिक कैलकुलेशन कर सकती थी, जो आज के सिंपल कैलकुलेटर से भी कम पावरफुल था, लेकिन उस टाइम के लिए ये एक क्रांति थी। आज हम 2025 में हैं और हमने एआई को इतना इवॉल्व होते हुए देखा है।
And that is something madam has been talking about. How all the newspapers are very interested about this. Yes, these are the things. They are making paintings. As ma'am has been saying, medical assistance.
डॉक्टर से भी पहले लगा रहा है, म्यूजिक कंपोज कर रहा है और यहाँ तक भी एक लॉयर की तरह लीगल एडवाइस भी दे रहा है।
And this is where the issue of epistemology comes, and this is where the problem begins. All these things that AI does, AI is doing, they have, if there is risk, they have two branches. One is algorithmic or logico-mathematical problems, and second is the ethical problems. In each case, as Madam rightly pointed out, that someone who is actually using or will be actually using that AI has to be, AI has to be designed in a way that can be used in a safe way, proper way, but still that depends on the agent who will be using it. But then again, human has always a great inspiration and great aspiration. Our aspiration is all these AIs that we have been talking about, they are called assisted AIs. But now we are looking for an AI that can do certain things itself, which is called AGI. It is not yet come into existence, but this is where we are looking at. And then also, theoretically, we are constructing another concept which is called ASI, artificial super intelligence, a god kind of thing. But I am not going to ASI, and I will not be saying anything pertaining to ASI, because ASI, the way it is theoretically, epistemologically explained, that is basically riding and roaming around a park with a tiger. I mean, whether the tiger will eat me or not, it doesn't depend on me. It will be dependent on that tiger. So I will be concerned. I will share some of my concern and some of my queries. I might be wrong, but whatever little I have learned from Madam, I will be sharing certain things. You please consider where we are. What is our position before reaching to AGI, that is artificial general intelligence. Now, what is called epistemology? My daughter just few minutes ago has been asking what is epistemology? Epistemology, when we talk about epistemology, there are in fact in philosophy of science there are different epistemology. Non-human, subhuman epistemologies are there, but I am taking the human variant. That means generally what we understand. And there, basically, there are many branches and that can be talked about, but I stick to my discussion because of my limited understanding of that. In three cases, that is a study that talks about us, what is knowledge, if at all. How can we at all have knowledge, or knowledge has if knowledge has certain limit or something? And how do we get knowledge? This portion, this thing, the way we study this is called the basic, very minimal characterization of epistemology. Now, knowledge generally we take recourse to these sort of questions: nature of knowledge, a definition, origin of knowledge, limits of knowledge if it has or possibility, and validation. That is, even if someone claims that I have a knowledge about something, how can you validate it? It goes back to, in Western perspective, it goes back to Plato. And since most of us are philosophy fraternity, so I dare not try to explain the JTB, but post JTB there is a problem that was raised by my very favorite Edmund Husserl, and it took just just recall. Madam has shown me the paper for the first time, and found that it was a 2.5-page paper, which actually radicalized the entire scheme of things. But post Gettier, if we talk about the nature of knowledge, we always talk about JTB, that is justified truth belief, with an exclusion of any accidental truth being incorporated. That was the basic function, and that was the way we understand the human variant of organic epistemology. Now, before that I said that there are different ways where explained that how do we get knowledge. One such school is called rationalism. Those school that actually they basically believe that through our reason we can construct everything, we can explain away everything. I mean, just roughly I am speaking. And then there were empiricists who believe that knowledge all and only comes from our experience, and they define the world, explain the external world, knowledge or interaction in different way. The problem is, because this the third view, that third view, I am coming to that, it goes to someone, I take the name Kant, who says no, neither this one correct nor that one correct, but those are, both the views have certain very good and required issues. How? Because problem is that if we take rationalist account, in that case anyone can ask Descartes, Spinoza, Leibniz to take together and ask what is substance. Someone may say one, another will say two, and the Leibniz will say many. How is it possible? From the rational point of view, the way they explain reason. On the other hand, if we just take empiricist account, in that case there are, Hume himself has raised many skeptical position of and about knowledge. So, third prevailing view of Kant, which says that yes, the experience is necessary, that is what later Russell will call knowledge by acquaintance, the raw sense data, that from that we create concept, and from that in the entire mechanism, both our sensibility and understanding, a faculty accepted by rationalists and a faculty only accepted by the empiricists, both plays a role. This is an interplay together, and for our discussion, which is important, Kant would say that is, thoughts without content are empty, intuitions without concepts are just blind. In fact, this portion somehow just omitted, but please read B for blind. Now, the problem is, when, no matter how we explain, but when we practice that knowledge, whatever we have learned, and from there on, actually our project started. Because my madam always asked me to think about whatever you are knowing, if at all. I mean, I don't think she thinks that I have, I come to know certain things. But still, if at all, she is always talks about the application of that, a knowledge application. In that case, we can conceive it in three ways: knowledge for practice, knowledge in practice, and knowledge of practice. Basically, the participatory thesis, when I am just entering into certain things, the knowledge I am carrying on with me and start the proceedings is knowledge for practice. RTD means real-time decidability. Whenever we apply real-time decidability, that is knowledge in practice, because that is very context-bound. In practice, on that particular practice, on this particular practice, on that particular practice, and knowledge of practice, which is basically reflective inquiry. Whether or not I have done certain things correctly, well, I shouldn't have done so. I think I should have done that. And in that case, what Madam has been saying, there are a clear distinction between human and machine way of knowing. One is in an organic way, through knowledge by acquaintance parts, and something I come to know maybe once, then repeatedly, and it goes through, it travels through the entire thing that comes, the data that comes, that travels through our neurons and neurotransmitters, and I take certain decision, and those things, the process I call learning, and those things store in my memory. Similar things with almost, we take a parallel, if we can find in the context of human machine also, human-made machine also. But the problem is, where we have our sensory and social information, they have their only textual input, that is what I have said earlier. Some human agents, knowledge by acquaintance, translated into, described into knowledge by description, then transcribed into some machine learning, deep learning codes that Madam has been saying, and then reduced to binary codes. So, this process, I now raise certain questions whether these terms pertaining to epistemology, knowledge, learning, intelligence, whether we can properly, the way we understand, no matter whether we are from philosophy discipline or not, as a human, the way we understand can be imposed to machine. Now, this particular thing is called synthetic epistemology, and since there are different versions, those versions that are concerned with the AIs, that is called silicon epistemology. So silicon epistemology is one of the version of different kind of synthetic epistemologies, just exactly the different kind of human epistemology is a version of our version is a version of different kind of other carbon or organic epistemologies. Now what AI is doing and how it is becoming so popular, you cannot fight with someone, let's allow a tiger to play a violin. ChatGPT. Now since Google is retiring, we need another professor, and professor is there. Not only it gives our answers, it is creating codes for the other machines, for the other softwares, other AIs. And this is my daughter's face, and the body is basically my body. I have used here a technique, what is called face swap, based on the as a method of learning. This for the machine. This is called the deep learning method, and the problem is one kind of deep fake. So here you can find that I have just used my daughter's face with my body with different kinds of clothing. But this is also important. Why? If suppose Lokita in North Bengal, I am in Kolkata, and Madam in Assam. All of three are making a film with one hero. For example, let's take one particular actor. And all the films are somehow partly incomplete. If that actor can send me while working with Lokkhida at North Bengal, just send me a piece of dialogue with a particular question, maybe as Lokkhida is sitting in a particular chair, I will just using green screen, I will use it in my film, which is called VFX, which is also an application of AI. So in such context it is important also. And this is also important, that is what Madam is saying, mimicking. That AI is really so very popular because it can mimic many voices. Like this way. You can find all this, familiar with all these names and photos of the singers and see what AI can do. Just one simple operating software, is doing this. There is mimicking different voice. Question of that Madam dealt in with, whether or not that is the emotion is there in the same level, that is a different thing. But these are the reasons for why AI is nowadays so gaining popularity. And more insane things. This is also has its roots in epistemology.
This is actually
Not only mimicking voice with visuals. I am coming to this because there are three types of AI models I will be showing briefly.
and even a perfect lip sync.
That we can do.
But you can swap any character in a loop. This is
And another insane problem. This is a serious epistemological problem. Two AIs are talking. One iPhone programmed AI is asking certain question and involved in a conversation with another AI. This is a real-time issue. I'm thankful to Google for sharing this with me. And then comes, remember I have used my daughter's face in my body. This is in fact is important. Those who have seen this particular series know, and those who have not, just for them I am just saying. In this particular video, one person is particularly disappeared and another person was taken in that particular video because of the demand of the story of that particular video. I mean, this is a story which is showing that there is a similar thing, such and such thing happened 26 years ago. For that, this video was actually. Now, see, this was the original, our time, the actual movie from where in the recent series of produced by Red Chillies Entertainment, it's called Bads of Bollywood. This particular scene is taken. This particular video is taken because this character was replaced by this character. Right? Another thing, this is what we are trying to do. Essentially now only China is involved, but there are other companies as well. They are basically making some bots. Bots means something software operated. There are two types of bots. One is the smaller bots, which is called nanobot, and one is the robust bot, which is called robot. This is one kind of robot. Now, these AI systems that we have seen, can we not say that they lack genuine intentional states which is required for belief? We have already seen that there is no intentional states. Two machines were talking, and they have been basically dancing with the tunes of ours, the agents, the human variants. Second is, they don't have that warrant justification. The second requirement for knowledge. Even if we don't consider JTB to be necessary and sufficient, at least necessary. Second thing. Third, non-accidental truths were incorporated. And they are not conscious subject, which is from SAL. Many people, recently Professor Mao has been says that they are not conscious, no matter how we differ to each other, but they are not conscious in the way we are. So, if that is true, can we really say that AI has knowledge, that it has true knowledge in the sense we actually understand? This is just a question. I am not giving any answer. This picture actually ma'am wanted to show one. Yeah, we are stuck into there, and our professor ChatGPT is just an assistive, supervised large language model, one type of AI, and entire thing it comes under the machine learning, and then the artificial intelligence, the whole structure. This is the actual thing, and AI gets power because the amount of memory I can store in me, obviously my output will be better. The amount of mistakes what I have made I can recall. I will try not to do the same mistakes, and that whatever that memory pin is for an AI, it using the nanotechnology, which is the basically discipline that makes theoretically and practically things in the nanoscale, which is tinier than our hair, right? And very efficient information can be stored in that. So with the advancement of nanochips and neural interfaces, this particular way, the pattern recognition, ma'am wanted to say, this was basically incidental thesis which was rejected by the university, later got a Nobel Prize. This is by Geoffrey Hinton. This process is called back propagation of learning the pattern and understanding a thing. This is the basic concept. The person is who got the Nobel is Geoffrey Hinton. Amazing human being. And the code we have been talking about, they are basically a binary code. Ultimately, that which is stored or that which actually operates. And we are familiar with this also. But what we don't know that we, with our iPhones and computers, we now deal in with some TVs, 1 TB, 2 TB, 3 TB, and maybe 5 TB. But there are actually in each day in the overall internet 2500 zettabyte of data is always working, and 1 zettabyte is 1 to the power 1000. Now you just calculate. Why I am taking this issue? Because there are 3 models I told you earlier. One is called large language model. The idea is give you input and amount of source I will have. The amount of input I can give, I will get output with machine learning process. One particular type of machine learning process, the way architect will design. And one common design is this. At least Google's 5th generation definition is this. Now we will have data source, we will train certain data and test certain data for a model evaluation. If model is working, then it's fine. We will get the output Otherwise, we will redo it and start again. This is called large language model. Like one we are familiar with, ChatGPT, Gemini AI and all. Second type of model is called LDM, large diffusion model. That is basically which generates picture, swap space, create different kinds of videos. This is called LDM. That has also its own reason and own architecture, epistemological architecture of doing that. But the point is, if we compare this audio-visual thing, large language model, large diffusional model, I am not talking about any large behavioral model. The way I have just stated that AI don't have proper knowledge, at least not in the sense we understand it. And still, why it can, it is able to do so many things? Number one and two. Two, what is its most importance? Where actually its importance, its attraction lies? It lies here. Fast data transmission, where my neural network is what we call RAM. We are familiar with that as a random access memory of my neural network through my eyes, ears and something. Any way, which is some not even KB, which is some nanobytes per second. Whereas nowadays we use different 24 GB RAM, 26 GB RAM machines. Fast data transmission is one. Second is it can access large data together. I mean, this memory is devised as opposed to our organic memory. The way it is devised, we can in a very short nano chip, we can store many data, which can be used and reusable also. Third is fast and efficient pattern recognition. This pattern recognizing thing, we are bit slow. But algorithm of machine is something in all cases which is very fast for them. As madam says, I might take 2 minutes to recognize Lokita if he comes to me in a disguise. But for an AI, he will just got you immediately. And next is, it's very fast binary reduction and get back, that is forward and backward, both way. From sense data to binary reduction and binary reduction to something like that sense data. Whatever we actually want to get as an output. But then again, there is a problem. If you ask to different AIs the same question, whether or not Tibet is a part of China, two different AI will give you different response. Because of the epistemic mistake of the architect, that is a human agent, who feed the data. That is one problem. Second is a contradiction. We use AI to generate text and not to caught up by the plagiarism, we use AI humanizer. And there are multiple AI systems which have both the features. At the same time, doing the contradictory things, which human epistemology usually does not allow us. 5 minutes. So, under these circumstances, can we say that, can we not say that AI lacks proper understanding? It does not know what actually it is doing. Second is, it has no metacognition. Third is, it has all, there is no agential, all passive words. And fourth is, it is always, or it fails in the far level data transfer or any kind of abstraction. So can we call it a proper learning? This is the exactly almost like the way which Thorndike proposed and we vehemently criticized. So can we call it proper learning? Similarly, if we consider certain things such as one that is hacking, and one that talks about for the privacy end-to-end encryption. This is some problem which is an ethical problem and a logical problem, but both has its root in its very epistemic architecture. And because another thing I am showing, I can show it from my phone immediately. This is the thing for which Google actually allowed me and started working with me, and now in a way with my all limited knowledge I can make them dance. That is, you can check, that is a 10th January message, that is an 18th January message, but this is a 11th October message. I used some Google, when releasing a beta software, I just managed to have it. And then I modified since it does not have a metacognition, I just all its meta understanding, all the meta codes, I replaced with different binaries. And I preferred this text to be always seen as my last text. And I changed the WhatsApp architecture. And in any case, I know you definitely won't like to have that. But anyone, if you can give me your phone and provide me with just 70 to 80 hours with this server, I can do the same thing with your phone also, any device. And the third thing is this. This is the selected message. You can, by checking the interface, you can see that it is a screenshot taken from an iPad. Message was sent on 6th January. But when in security protocol it is showing December. And my very good friend Baroda, suddenly she did not believe. She asked me, do it again, and I did it again. These two are the same thing, and that is also I have that evidence with me. And in order to fix that epistemic problem, Google needs as long as 32 minutes. And 32 minutes of shutdown in Google server is not a matter of joke. So Google is now, that's why, working with me that how, without being any shutdown or at least a partial shutdown for seconds, how can it be fixed? But this actually shows that it is not very intelligent either, at least the way we understand the intelligence. And it is very fast, it is very efficient, but not properly intelligent. In the sense, lacking of abstraction, intentionality, understanding, as well as creativity and common sense. Lokita will never sign me anything with a post date, unless albeit intention, with a post date where the main letterhead, the date is given something else. Will you do it? But unless intention. But it is compelled. So this is not very intelligent either. At least some limited being like me can crack it. Now there are, I'm just concluding since 5 minutes are given. 3 things we are very concerned about. One is the deep fake. But then again, this deep fake issue, these all are video, but I am not showing this. This deep fake video shows something that how harmful AI can be. A response to Professor Mao. Second thing is, this man is practically, and I have done it successfully, taken just 124 phones, he is roaming around the road, and since AI does not know actually human beings are there or not, since they can find the GPS navigation tracking, the entire road, Google started showing that it is jam-packed, and people started taking different routes. This is an algorithmic problem. But this way, AI can be outsmarted by human beings. And third thing is, in each such cases, trolley problem, we always come up with a different answer. But for a particular AI, it always will come up with one answer as it is failed because of the architecture issue. Otherwise, the entire epistemic, the moment I will try to impose in somehow the real-time decisiveness, the contextuality, it will collapse. That is another epistemic problem. And this person I have been talking about, Geoffrey Hinton, from our project. These are my collaborators of the project I have been referring to continuously. Hannah Nord, Adler Closer and myself. This is our project. We are prioritizing these questions, that is human in the context of knowledge, whether AI's entire thing, output is something creativity, no matter whether it can draw, paint something or not. Can we call it creativity or just mere idiotic processing? And by the term idiotic, I am not using an abusive word. Just the way we used to call television an idiot box, I am using it in that literal sense. Second is common sense or just encoded output. I have already shown that what I can do, and I have that evidence also with me. Third is real-time situational demand efficient or not. We need to know this fourth question, of course, very important if we really aspire to get an AGI. Because we don't know whether it will turn out to be a Frankenstein's ghost or not. How to demarcate self and others? Two phones were talking. How to demarcate self and others? And what about meta-thinking? Any metacognition. And fourth, are we really ready for AGI? This is our basic questions of our project, and this is, I am in this particular seminar, I am just covering it with Geoffrey Hinton's concerns as well. The control problem, reservoir problem and takeover problem. Whether or not ultimately it will be monopolized by some people or some tech giants, some institutions. And so many data is coming and so many data is going. From where the data are coming? Because ChatGPT can generate anything. So can we conceive that anything can be taken as knowledge somehow or other? And the second thing is where all the data are going. And fourth is whether or not human being can be taken over. And the final thing, just for all of you, we have Turing and Charles issue. If Turing is right, then Charles will fail. If Searle will fail. If Searle is right, then we have to think about Turing's thesis. Now just tell me one thing, everyone, and I conclude with this. Is there any difference between these two videos? What is the difference, ma'am? The video that I have taken from the Red Chills Entertainment. What is the difference, ma'am?
I think this is you.
Yes. Here I have again another face swap in that way, and man could find out in few seconds. But I am leaving this PPT with you with these two separate video. I will leave it separately. You check it with any device. The machine will tell that these two are identical video. So the problem is with AI, whether it ethical or logical, algorithmic, ultimately lies its roots in epistemology. This is the perfect example because man, with her using her epistemic faculty of organic epistemological faculty, could easily say this is you. But I have one more video, and there I have second time more. Just again I played with the grill and grade two meta data. Just and that too with the simple logic that ma'am taught me. which is called first order predicate logic. Yes, I conclude here. Thank you. No, I'm fine. I can. This is. Thank you. So that is the thing that without a wise human being, I believe at least its intervention, maybe artificial intelligence is basically what we call in our thesis Smith ego, a stipulated manipulation of information technological hiki goes in and goes out. Thank you very much. I'm really grateful to you because this is important because of this architecture. I'm just leaving it here because all of you know this thing. And thank you. I am indebted to, again, this is part of my job, Red Chillies Entertainment for their sharing their sources, and Google India for this particular project with non-disclosure agreement, and my very dear fellow friend Mondira, who actually inspired me in doing philosophy with AI, and of course my man. Thank you.
Genes. So what what I want to ask you is that you seem to be against the idea that artificial intelligence as of now.
Absolutely not. That was machine mistake and this was human mistake. Absolutely no. I am not at all against any artificial intelligence development or research.
No.
I
haven't completed my.
Okay, sorry.
No, you seem to be on the side of Sir, saying that any kind of.
No, not at all.
Yeah. So you seem
Not at all. I am not taking any side so far because exactly on that point in our research we are working on that since exactly the very question that Madam raised, we take it in a different way that since we don't have a common consensus of whatever, keeping Chamas in mind, let us suppose there is some qualia and we all can understand, but still we don't have our consensus on that. That is the single definition, the characterization of consciousness. We don't have that thing. So how can we expect that consciousness, as Sal claimed, is a must requirement for a machine? We are also dealing with that question.
No. See, you have to start somewhere. You can't be so wishy-washy. No, you can't be. Because let me finish. Okay. Let me finish.
Let's get the question.
See, if you say that there are so many definitions of consciousness, so I won't answer. You can't say because there is, undercutting your research project. That is my thing. Now the thing is, the question here is, if you are not, if you are not taking on board Turing's position or self, are you ready to take David's position, the intentional stance?
That's why I was trying to say from the first hand, right now we are not concluding anything. We are just understanding the nature of the problem, epistemic problem of the AI architecture. And second thing is we are trying to understand the problems which those problems that can lead some ethical or some algorithmic problem which can be generated from those issues. That may be our limitation, but that is our position. We are just trying to understand and exploring the things. I am not saying that we will not take any position. I have said that we have not yet taken any position.
No, that's fine. But it's okay to be open.
It is open.
It is open, but you have to stand somewhere.
Yes.
When
time will come, we will explore more.
Anyway,
we have to.
Anyway,
that's some time.
I think you have made it very clear. But my thinking is that you have to stand somewhere, letting all the windows open. But you have to be in
So in that case, a meta stand is that before going to AGI, there has to be some, always while using some machine, there has to be some human intervention because of the fact that if an algorithmic malfunction happens, then the entire how it actually explodes, that we don't know. But even some human mistake or intentional pathos is created, in that case we have, at least in Heideggerian sense, an average kind of intelligibility of the extent of how much it causes damage. So in that case, I always would say that with some precise human agent in line, in loop, AI should be used. And AI, being a machine, as I stated, cannot be, AI is neither intelligent nor their knowledge nor their learning that can be properly compared with the human way. We have to understand it in a different way. We can.
I would like to point out, sorry.
It's okay.
In
Thank you.
this chairing one more sentence there. That's why I'm thinking that I would like to point out. So, having said that, assuming that, of course, can you forgive me for whether AI will take into consideration all these kinds of things? I will not know about that. I'm very poor in that. But anyway, I would like to sincerely thank both of the speakers, profound, though I am very poor in that AI business. I'm a traditional epistemology and ontology, and from traditional epistemology to a transition towards the Siliconian epistemology, I think shayad mera kopadi mein nahi aayega. And I again thanks everyone for very good meeting.
Yeah, so I wish to congratulate you for making a very good attempt. Since we are thinking and reflecting together, not that I have the answer, just as aeroplane is designed from the birth, and many things, submarine, etc., also designed from nature. So also, artificial intelligence is also designed after our human brain, human thinking. But till today, the greatest of the scientists, a team of scientists, have not uncovered the billions and billions of cells which are operating and coordinating. So unless we decode them, it is not possible what we have right to put down: intelligence, knowledge, wisdom, agency, creativity. All this will not be able to understand. As far as the calculation is concerned, the human brain, the speed of the neuron firing, okay? As far as it has been calculated, is only 1,000 times movement in a second.
Absolutely.
But the speed of the light is much, much faster than
Faster
that.
than that. Absolutely.
Similarly, if artificial intelligence is computation, is much, much faster. Okay? But then the agency and the subjectivity and the other point that we have raised, we are still far, far behind. So, apart from my clue that we are yet to encode the different cells, the functioning, the coordination, etc., and the processing, etc., what other thinking, well, if you have ever thought about it, is involved? I'm asking you.
Yes, I have thought about it, and yes, I have thought. Actually, I should not say I. We have thought about it. We have taken it into our account, but there are multiple possibilities. We have found at least 3. I'm just saying. So we are not in a position to address the problem with a particular answer. But yes, we have thought about it as a serious, not object level but meta level problem. Absolutely, sir. You have rightly pointed out. Thank you, ma'am, for teaching me, and thank you for your inspiration, ma'am.
Well, ARNAB, I didn't teach you anything.
Nobody can teach anyone.